again, I grew up around the Bible. I trust the Bible, I hope. But really and truly, do I know the history of how the book's been put together? You know, and do I trust that person? Did he have a God motive or did he have a self motive in putting the Bible together? So how can I trust that the Bible's been put together and the right books have been put in there and the right books have been left out?
Big question. I'm going to try and answer it in short time.
Okay, go for it.
Big question. I think a caveat I have to put in there is that as a Protestant, I read the Protestant Bible.
Okay.
So there's 27 books in the New Testament, 39 in the Old, 66 in total. Roman Catholics now have more books, like they have the Apocrypha, which has got additional literature in there. Or the Coptic Church, the Ethiopian Church, you know, they've got the readings within their Bibles as well, which they consider as their Bible. Or even Latter-day Saints, Mormons, they've got the Bible, and plus they've got extra books with their book. But I'm coming from a Protestant perspective in terms of what we read. Okay. One thing that does apply in many respects for the New Testament is 2 Timothy 3:16 talks about the words of God being inspired, literally God-breathed, saying that the origin of those words are God, not man. And that very much forms the backbone of the books that we have. So if you look at it, there's 4 criteria they use when it came to selecting the New Testament, and I'll refer to how that talks about the Old Testament as well. And the first one was the book written by an apostle of God, or a prophet. So more prophet when we're talking Old Testament, or apostle in the New Testament. An apostle, those who planted the church initially, so they knew Jesus personally.
Yeah, cool.
Also qualified as well, but also qualified as somebody who came under an apostle. So an apostle made Peter, and Mark, who wrote one of the Gospels, was under Peter's tuition and understanding. Second thing that was used as selection for the books of the New Testament was the universal acceptance. So a lot of the readings were already in circulation and were already read among the believers, and by the majority they were accepted as these are the words of God. Third one was liturgical use. So when they had meetings and they were worshipping, they used the readings in those worship services. They were considered to be the words of God, and they had to have a consistent message. So today, sometimes people say, you know, why haven't you got the Gospel of Peter in there, or Mary Magdalene, or you know, some of these other Gospels? Half of the people asking that question have never read these Gospels. Because if you read the Gospels that they're talking about, you see why they're not in there. You know what I mean? Some of them talk about Jesus coming out of the tomb, and the cross came behind him and it was speaking, you know, and the other one talk about Jesus literally as a murderer because he was bounced by a boy, and you know, it's just, you read the Gospels that you're thinking, what is this about? It sounds like Hollywood and then some. And you know, Dan Brown lent on a lot of these when he was doing his Da Vinci stuff, and the Gnostic Gospels and what. So